Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brian and this is Bree's Knits. Today I'm coming at you with a podcast. Yeah, that's it. I'm sorry for the lighting. I feel like this year I have to really up my game for podcasting, mostly because of the lighting. Like I do have like the situation I'm in right now, like in the dining / kitchen area. But the window is side view, so there's not really a lot that comes through, versus if I face the window it would be nice, but I don't like the background on that side. So I feel like I need to get one of those like photography things, you know, so I can like have a nice background, like a nice neutral background, so that way the lighting's a little bit better. But this is what we're working with for now. So I wanted to do a separate video of like my plans for 2025, blah, blah, blah. I've never really been into everything I knit in whatever year, mostly because I feel like I've never knit that much. I probably knit like a handful of things last year, and most of them I don't even wear right now because of either fit issues or I just never finished them. This year I want to change that. So there's that. And also I feel like I can't churn out sweaters that quickly. Like I'm not in that time in my life where I can just work on a sweater for 2 weeks at a time and then go on to the next thing because I want to, which is fine. Like there are some people that I don't like watching their everything I knit in like the year, because I really feel like insecure about my knitting speed, I guess, or like not insecure. Well, kind of, yeah, I guess that's the only word to describe it, is I feel really insecure about it. And then there are some times where maybe because it's like depends on like their energy. And I feel like for most people, like there's only like maybe like 2 or 3 people who I'll watch like everything I knit in whatever year, because I'm like, oh, okay, like I don't know, the energy's just different, you know. And like I really like watching those twins who knit, and maybe because like both sisters are always at like different stages of their life, and they always like are sure to bring it up, like, hey, we're, you know, we have different things going on in our life that might be different from yours, so do not, like, this isn't to feel bad, it's just to share everything we've knit. So I don't know, it's just something about those girls, something about Jessica and Rachel, that I'm like, yes, I will watch your everything I knit this year. So there's just like, there's a few people that like I'll actually watch their everything I knit, but I am not in a place to make those kinds of videos, and I don't want to make it. So I'm not going to. But I was going to make a separate video of my plans, but then I realized I don't really have a lot to show you podcast wise. So I'm just going to put them all together. It's going to be a podcast / plans for next year. And also kind of like where I'm at knitting wise with my practice right now too. Like I feel like this year, like my aunt had asked us all like, oh, for the new year, like what's something you learned about yourself in 2024? And for me, I think now that my son is getting closer to, like, we're getting close to 2 now. And I feel like now I'm starting to come back to myself, if that makes sense. Like usually people say, you know, like obviously postpartum is forever, like you're never the same. But like hormones wise, I feel like I'm finally coming back to myself. And that's the thing that I'm also like starting to just like rediscover things I really love and really enjoy. Like knitting has been through it with me this whole time. I still have a huge, like the stash, whatever I showed you guys last year, like it's probably nearly the same because I didn't knit that much this year, or I didn't knit like big projects basically. So I'm starting to like fall in love again with certain things. Like, I don't know, just this year I was like telling my husband like, oh, like basically like I used to be really like I was really like such a girly girl before. Like I used to have like so much perfumes because I just love scents. I used to collect purses when I was younger, and then I kind of just stopped. And I mean, not that like you know, obviously like overconsumption and everything like that. But it was like purses I loved so much that I would like rotate every so often. And then it turned into what was more practical. And then recently it's kind of been like, this is my serotonin boost purse or whatever. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I don't want to make it seem like I want to contribute to overconsumption. It's more like now I want to hone in on the things that I love and not like be stumbling through kind of like, oh, I guess, do I like this? And like, I'm getting closer to my 30s too. And I feel like I've heard a lot of people say like, oh, your 20s are where you figure it out and your 30s is kind of like, this is who you are. Which I've never really like understood. And I'm really happy for the perspective. Because I do feel like that's true. Like, I feel like I'm starting to like settle in more into myself and who I am. And that's really reassuring. And it feels nice, I guess, to not feel like, who am I? Or I remember when I was a teenager, I'd always be like, oh, I feel like I'm constantly changing styles. So like, there's no way that like you could look at me and be like, you're X, Y, and Z person. You know what I mean? Because I would always have friends be like, I don't know what you're even into. Like, you change every so often. And then some people would be like, it's because you're a Libra. And I'm like, I honestly don't know. Like, I like what I like. And that's what I know, you know? So yeah. And I think too, like, so, I mentioned, I think in the previous podcast that I had gone to a Disney meetup. I didn't do a vlog. I had thought about it, but my phone has been acting really weird. I think I need a new one. So that just didn't happen. I wasn't going to put any pressure on myself for that. But kind of just going into that too, I think also helped me with this whole like sense of self too, because it turned into like, I'm going to dress for like little Brienne, for like the Brienne that wanted to do this, but for whatever reason didn't. So it's been really fun, rediscovering like all of that, I guess. And, kind of not feeling, I don't know, like not feeling guilt, not feeling like the self-consciousness of like, oh, are people going to think like I'm being too much? You know, like, I don't care. Life is too short. So I'm really happy and I'm really excited to have that perspective and that new mindset, I guess, going into 2025. And like, you might be watching this, you might be younger than me and you'd be like you have a perfect sense of self. And like, I'm happy for you, but it's just so, I don't know. Maybe it's like, it's the therapy, it's the age, it's the perspective, it's everything coming together to combine into something really beautiful and great in my brain. And it's just making sense. So yeah. Anyway, so I guess I will get into it. I want to show you guys, I think I showed you my progress last time, but I did a little Sunday capelet thing. Again, I did one last year. However, I think I'm going to frog this one just to use the yarn in a different project where it'll be worn more. I didn't want to purchase a cape pattern because I just didn't want to spend the money on something I wasn't going to be wearing that often or wear that often. And the Sunday collar, I feel like I don't know, I feel pretty good with it. Like, I like the way it looks once I continue to do the increases. But I think just I don't know, I might have to do something else myself in the future. But because the last time I did a capelet, I did it with just mohair. And it was a little bit lighter. It did round out a little bit better. This is a bulky weight yarn, I believe. And I did it on 5mm needles. So the way it is, it's more boxy and it doesn't have like a really nice shape. So when I was walking around, I wore it for Disneyland for the meetup. When I was walking around, it was very much like this. It was more like I had my cape on and I windswept riding through the forest on my horse, and then it just kind of always ended here. And then let me see if I can show you without. Okay, so I realized after the fact, like way too late when I was knitting this, I was like, oh, maybe some German short rows would help with the shape. I did it way too late in the game. I did it like down here. And then it kind of just like the cast off or the bind off that I used was way too tight. So it kind of bubbled up in the back. And that's kind of part of the reason why I'm like, maybe I'll just frog it too. And I did tack down, like the strap was just a Christmas ribbon from a couple years ago now. Last year from Christmas 2023. But also when it falls, this is how it looks. The yarn is Wool and the Gang Feel Good yarn. And I've actually been thinking about doing a, so I have like I think this project took about 1.5 balls of yarn, of that yarn. And I have another 1.5-ish skein. So, and then I have a lot of the Feel Good yarn in brown sugar. So this is a green. You can't really tell, but this is the forest green, I believe. But I have the brown sugar one too. And I was kind of thinking about doing like a type of half and half wrap, but instead doing it like Sophie shawl because I have that pattern. And since it's basically the weight I need, kind of just working half of the shawl, like doing increases, half of it in the green and then half of it in that brown sugar. But if I don't frog this, then I don't think I'll have enough for my ideal like look of that. So yeah, I think this year too, like part of my perspective is because a lot of things that like stump me is I don't know if I'll ever wear this, you know, kind of like with the color with this and the brown sugar. Like I might like it, I might not like it, you know, and part of me is like, well, I don't want to make something that I'm not going to wear. And I'm just thinking like, okay, maybe like I'll shift my perspective and do like, I want to make this, so I'll just make it. And then if somebody wants it, then they can have it, you know, like it'll just be a gift for them or whatever. Like if I want to make it, I just want to make it. And I think that's how I'm going to go into this year too. That's the same thing with the Sophie shawl too, like this specific one, like I don't, or what I'd frog this project for. I don't know if I would wear it, but I do like the idea of just making it. And then if somebody wants it, then I'll give it to them. You know, it's not that deep for me. I have enough yarn to do that. So this is just something I wanted to show you guys. I do have a few other finished objects. They're not really big, but they're pretty small. And so I'll just go into that next instead of yapping constantly. So along with those meetups that I was talking to you about, a lot of girls will do, like some of them have small businesses, so they'll do like little goodie bags, like maybe this size, just pretty small. And it'll be like one of their handmade. Last time it was earrings. The girls who were hosting it gave like, they were, I think a shop sponsored it. It was like those little cute claw clips for your hair, but it was like a gingerbread Mickey. It was really cute, but I don't really wear a claw clip, so I gave it to my friend. And then, yeah, like some people had like little mini like finger beanies, adorable. So I was like, oh, you know what? Like there's another thing to do with all my scraps is to maybe like make small things that I'm like, I want to make that, but I don't know for who, you know? And like whatever I make, and that's it. Most of the time the goodie bags are like until things run out, you know? So because it's a Disneyland meetup, the next one would be around Valentine's Day. And like I said, I'm not really like pushing myself too hard because a lot of the items are small. So like most of them I can get done in like a day and a half. So if I get it done, I get it done. If I feel like I want to keep working on more stuff, then I'll wait until like springtime or something. But because it's Disneyland, a lot of people go for the snacks. And my first other finished object is the little pretzel. It's the cute little salty pretzel. I know Hip Knit Hooray, Rebecca, I believe her name is. has been making a lot of knit ornaments and has been like obsessed with them. And like, honestly, I love watching her knit ornament videos. I think they're so cute. But yeah, so like the snacks thing is like a big deal at Disneyland. And I was thinking about it recently too. And I was like, oh, I wonder if I should just make like, because they have like Mickey pretzels, kind of just making like a long tube, sewing it together, and then, making 2 other little things to make like little Mickey pretzel. But this is what I got so far. I'm thinking about just embroidering the salt on there. I think that could be cute. I have been really into also like charms and bag charms. That's also something else I have rediscovered my love for. I used to really be into the idea of charm bracelets and charm necklaces. I bought myself a charm necklace around Christmas. I bought myself some charms. Target, I think they had like a sale towards the end of the season. And I bought some that were like very fitting for me. Because I have like a chain necklace that I didn't really know how to style, but now I can add my little charms to it. So I'm really excited about that. But I've also been into bag charms, or like cute little, like the sanitizer holders from Bath and Body Works. Very cute. I left mine at one of my friend's house, so I have to get it this weekend. But so I'm thinking about adding like something here to add to a bag. So that way they can just put it on their purses. So there's one of them. I have a couple of scrunchies that I made as well. I put together like a container of like scrap yarns that I wouldn't mind using up for these. And so I have a couple of scrunchies here because why not? They're cute. They're really fast. I have been using, for these ones, I've been using the Soho scrunchie pattern. I forgot who it was by, but it's a free pattern. I do like the stitch count for the fingering weight scrunchie. However, the DK weight scrunchie, I'm not really a fan of how it turned out, or the stitch count. I felt like it was a lot. So what I might do is just revert back to the Poo Poo scrunchie by Sari Norland. I have that pattern. So for the DK weight / sport weight, I might just refer to those numbers instead. But I mean, I feel like this one is definitely more decorative, I guess. I mean, I've been using scrunchies recently as more decorative anyway. Like I'll put it up in like my normal hair tie, and then I put this as like a final little bloop decoration, because if I tied it up too much, the fibers might get stuck in my hair. So yeah, I've been using my scrunchies a little bit more decorative than actually functional, I guess. So yeah, I don't know if I really like how this one turned out that much, but you know what? Someone else might like it, someone else might enjoy it. So it's, it is what it is. That's all part of the making process, I guess. So I have all these little sachet bags too from making lavender pouches. So I was like, oh, perfect. I can go ahead and just use whatever I have, and it's not that big of a deal. So I believe that is it for finished objects. I do have a couple of whips right now. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, I have a couple of whips I can show you guys right now. Okay, I'll show you this one because it's right here. This one is going to be another salty pretzel. So I'm currently just working up the tube. It's supposed to be on double pointed needles, but ever since the phone pouch, I have fallen in love with Judy's Magic Cast On for small circumferences. I don't like working with double pointed needles. I've tried it a few times. Not a fan. It is too fiddly for me and I get really frustrated. So the Judy's Magic Cast On has been a lifesaver. That's how I actually started the pretzels. So I'm doing it in a pink because there are yogurt and chocolate covered pretzels. I think it's a lot of fun, and it's just some extra yarn from the socks I made for my mom for Christmas. I didn't get a chance to take a picture of them, but if you saw the last podcast, I did finish them in time for Christmas because they were short socks. And it ended up working out perfectly because I bought my mom a pair of Reeboks that were navy blue and blush pink. So those go perfectly with it. This is a Debbie Bliss Rialto, I believe. So I think it's a sock yarn, so there is some nylon in there. It does feel like a little squeaky. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, so that's one of my whips. I'll probably be done with it this weekend. And my other whip, I have been painstakingly working on, constantly ripping it back. And now I'm finally farther than I have been for a while. It's the Moby sweater for my husband. Our wedding anniversary is in a couple of months. So I was like, you know what? I got him a Christmas gift and I was like, this will be your anniversary present. He is very tall, so it's still going to take me a while to work on the body. But I finally, joined in the round. I think last time I did, but the row in the front and the row in the back were not the same. I thought they were. And my husband was like, it's okay. I'll still wear it with pride. And I'm like, no, because the shoulders don't even look as nice. And that's something I'm going to live with. But the fact, it needs to be the same. Like the front and the back need to be the same. Because if not, the diamond was going to be this small in comparison to how it's actually supposed to be. So I am happy that I finally have gotten past the points where I have with the other attempts. I had to rip back a couple of times. I was nearly tempted to just rip back the whole thing and start over because I had been on hold for a while. So I thought maybe that's what it was. My brain just wasn't putting anything together from where I last had it. But no, we're good. We're still on the first donut. This is Cascade 220 Superwash, I believe. I forgot what the color was. I got it on Wool Warehouse. I think they labeled it as grape heather, something like that. So here we are. I'm working the smallest size. I think it's the extra small, based on my husband's measurements. He's a very thin guy. And based on the end measurements, I kind of showed him what it would look like, and he was still good with the extra small. So that's the size I'm working on. But like I said, he's pretty tall, so I'm gonna have to make it probably a little bit longer than the pattern says, but we'll see. So that's one whip. I'm trying to hurry up because I can't see. Okay, I got a few before it cuts me off, and then I have to start all over again. Anyway, so that's my whips. I am thinking about, I saw this picture on Pinterest about a, what do you call it? The phone bags, but with a little bow on it. And I thought that was so cute. That's another thing. I love bows. I think they're so cute. I love little hair bows too. That's the reason why I'm also growing out my hair, so I can do a little half up, half down, and then my little bow on top or something. I don't know. I just think it's adorable. But anyway, I don't have any acquisitions. So let's get into planning for 2025. I realized, I think last year I kind of just had a list. Let me see. This is the same notebook as last year, by the way, because I did not actually keep up. Surprise, surprise. Let's see. I had want to makes, which I definitely did not keep up with. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27 patterns I wanted to make last year. Did I make that many? No, I did not. I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, maybe. no, 15 items, but most of them were gifts. So, and they were pretty small. So I did not, yeah, no, I didn't make a lot of what I had on my want to makes. I think I made, let me see, based on what I have here, I made 2, 3, yeah, I made 3 things. That's all. So I did see Knit California does her make 9s a lot, and I feel like that's definitely a little bit more feasible for me. So I have my make 9, and I'm going to share them with you right now. Okay, so my make 9 2025. My first one, speaking of Knit California, is the California Sweater by Leslie Forrester, I believe is her full name. But it's Knit California if you watch her on YouTube or follow her on Instagram. I bought the yarn for it at the SoCal Fiber Fair. Well, I bought part of it. The other part I have a mohair that I want to work with it. So I have that idea down. Obviously, I want to finish the Moby sweater. That was part of my want to makes for 2024. But that's for my husband. So kind of just hoping to get that done eventually. At least before he can't wear it anymore. So before like March or April. My second on my make 9 is the Margot top by Gregoria Fibers. I've had this like in my eyesight, I wanted to work on it since it's come out, and I've just never have. And I really like the way it looks, and I really want to make it. I actually really like the brown that she used too in like her sample photos. So I might try to see if I can get the same yarn. But I do like that. I think I also saw those twins who knit. Was it Rachel that made it? She made it in like a mix yarn, like a blend. There you go. So it wasn't 100% wool, and because they get like pretty warm weather too, she's able to wear it a little bit more. So maybe I might try to find a blend as well. Cause I live in, in case you didn't know, I live in Southern California. So it gets pretty, we mostly have like two seasons. It's like summer and then winter. That's it. That's all we have. Our fall feels more like some other people's summers, and our winter sometimes feels like spring. So yeah, I want to work on the Margot top because it feels like a very classic, a very effortlessly put together shirt. And I do want to have more wearables in my wardrobe that don't include me also having to work on the tiniest needles ever. The next one is the Tide and True Tank by Tamara Jordan. I think she's Star-Crossed Knits on Instagram. But I really like it. It's a cute little, I've seen, I have a vest actually that I bought as well. That's like the tie front vest, but I really like how the Tide and True Tank looks. And I've also had this in my sights since it's come out. So I want to finally make it. I have the yarn for it. I have a lot of, the cotton yarn from Wool and the Gain. I already forgot what it's called already. Super soft cotton? No, I don't know. It's the cotton yarn, but I have a lot in the eucalyptus color because I was going to make a dress with it, and then it just never happened. So I want to, yeah, I just want to do that. So I have the yarn for it and I want to work on it. I do like the red that she used though as well. And part of me, like I love red. Like I love red. I love a lot of shades of red. So part of me is like, do I just want to make it in a red? But also I do like the way the eucalyptus green looks. So I don't know. I'll probably just work on it with the yarn that I do have, which is the eucalyptus green. And if I want to make another one, then I'll make another one. Another sweater that I've had my eyes on since it's come out, since its release, was the sweater number 15 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. I have the pattern. I have the yarn for it. I just need to work on it. So I want to work on that. Another one that I wanted to work on, I've actually been feeling a really big motivation to work on it, is the Winter Clutch by Petite Knit. I have the yarn. I got it from Paisley Knits. There you go. I was like trying to figure out the name of her shop again. It's Paisley Knits. She had, it was one of the months she had like it was like the book club month, and it was for beach read, and it's like, let me just bring it out to you. I'm pretty sure I showed you, but let me just bring it. I have it all skeined up and ready already too, but it's such a cute, like, it's such a cute pink. So perfectly my favorite person. And it's on the Coastal Sock, which is 85 superwash extra fine merino and 15% nylon. Yeah. There you go. There's her little crabby crab. Anyway, it's so freaking cute. And I want to make a winter clutch bag out of it. So I'll probably do that soon. Number 6 on my list is the Maggie cardigan by Petite Knit. I've seen, there's a few fashion people I follow on Instagram, and one girl they do a lot of like, let's copy this Pinterest outfit on my size body. It's usually like mid-size. And there was one where she had like a really nice like gathered skirt dress with a cardigan that looks a lot like the Maggie cardigan. It's like, it was weird. It was like a mix between the Maggie cardigan and the Copenhagen cardigan by Petite Knit. I do like how the Copenhagen cardigan looks, but I think I like the way the Maggie cardigan looks better. Like the construction just feels a lot nicer and more put together. And I saw Johanna from the Knitwear Cup do a long sleeve version of the Maggie cardigan, and I really, really liked how that looked. And I have a green yarn from, what is it? Woolly Knit, the cone. And I want a cardigan in one of those cones. I have a brown one and I have a green one. And I feel like the green might look nice in that. So I want to do the Maggie cardigan, but I want to do a long sleeve version. I also want to do the Olga jacket. It looks very cute. I love a good stripe, so I want to do the Olga jacket. I also want to do the mixed rib Cami by Florence, by Hand Knit by Florence. I really liked how it looks. I think it looks really cute, really elegant, really well put together. It's kind of like one of those effortless tops, kind of like the Margot top. And then last but not least, I also want to make the Holger sweater by Petite Knit. When I was pregnant, I made the Pigalle jumper by Fable Knitwear. And it was really nice. And I purchased the yarn based on vibes. Wasn't really thinking too much, but the taupe, unfortunately, is very gray, like grayish, and it doesn't really work with me. I feel like it makes my skin look ashy. And the blue also like does that as well, and it makes me sad, but the yarn is a really good quality. So what I had thought about was frogging that and making the Holger sweater for my son. And since a lot of people know already, my aunt is pregnant and I'm so excited for her. So I also told her that when she knows what the sex of the baby is, to let me know what her color scheme is. So that way I can make her a Holger sweater too, or like the Holger set. It's gonna be so cute. I also have like the Ellen cardigan and like a bloomers pattern, and I have a few like baby patterns. So I'm very excited. That's not part of my make 9, but the Holger sweater definitely is. So I want to make all of those, and the baby knits will be so cute. So I'm very, very excited. And this aunt lives in California too, so I can just like be like, oh, I made this one. Here you go. So I'm really excited for that. And yeah, that's it. That's my main plans. I am thinking about like, as far as like little things go, making some like I-cord bows as well for like back charms and whatnot. Since I have like a few yarns that I think I ordered a few from Drops before just to see if I liked how they worked up. And that was with like this scrunchie, the DK wage scrunchie. I forgot what yarn it was already, but I think I wanted to see the color and I wanted to see if I liked it. So I just have like random single skeins that I honestly don't remember what I was doing with it. So I'm using them as much as I can for like these small projects, and they're a lot of fun. I already done 3 of these little bags, working up on that salty pretzel. And I still have a ton of this Drops yarn left as well. I think it was the baby merino, if I'm not mistaken, but it's like a lilac purple. And I have an alpaca silk yarn as well from Drops that I need to work up to get out of my stash. I do also want to make more hand knit socks for myself. I realized last year I actually made 2 socks for my husband, and I made 1 pair for myself, and I made 1 pair for my mom for Christmas. But I recently purchased the coffee order socks. They're like little short ankle socks. So I think those would be really fun to work up with different colors. And I did purchase the Colorwork Cuff Club by Summerly Knits because I couldn't help myself. It's a steal. And I think when she first announced it, there was like an additional like either 20 or 30%. So like when you did the math, like each month it was basically you were paying like $1 something per pattern. So I was like, duh, I have to. So there's like her August one was like a Scandinavian inspired, which is like really popular. So I have some green tweed yarn and like a really bright purple yarn that I think would look so beautiful with it. And I have this blue sapphire yarn from Super Glow and an orange. I don't remember where I got that one from, but I have it in my stash. And I wanted to make it for my grandma for her birthday, but time didn't allow it. So I'll still probably make it for her. And then with because she has small feet, I have like way bigger feet than she does. And with that, sorry, I'm talking so quickly. With whatever is left over, I also have a brown sock yarn that I can have the blue go as the contrasting color for the Scandi look. And then I'm thinking that's it for myself as far as like that goes for the Colorwork ones. There's also a few like her recent, the January one that she came out with. I'm like, I think I want to make that one too. I have like a bright, like a chartreuse green with like a raspberry pink color and a neutral cream color that I want to use all together. So I do want to have more fun with some socks as well this year, but that's kind of like a vague goal for the year, is just working on some more socks. I didn't really wear my ruffle ones too much, but I wore them the other day and I was like, why don't I need more hand knit socks? Because these feel amazing. They feel great. So I'm really excited for what's to come this year. And I think that's it for now. I don't have any other plans. Podcast wise, I do want to do the knit that's are becoming increasingly harder, especially with like crackdowns from the streaming companies. But I am very excited to finish the Gilmore Girls ones. For that one, I feel like I really have to be in the mood to watch Gilmore Girls. And recently I have not. So I haven't finished the series out for Knit That. But I can see myself coming back to it this year. So let's hope season 5 and 6 make an appearance this year. And yeah, there might be some more like serotonin cast on. So we'll see how that goes. I've come to realize that I do like shawls. And I think it's just because I like the way they look. And also because I just wear them like scarves. So we'll see. There might be some more shawls in my future. The Crebea came out, or Rebecca from the Crebea came out with the Staffen shawl. And I really like how that looks. And I have a DK weight pink yarn that I could use for that as well, and some mohair lying around that could be used for it. So we'll just see. We'll see. I'm like gonna go based on vibes. I'll try to have it like loosely structured, but I fear I'm not as as structured as a lot of people may be. So I'm just gonna embrace it. I'm gonna embrace as much like being as organized as I can, but if if I go off the rails, and I go off the rails. Yeah, that's it for today. That's it for now. I need to like relax my shoulders. Do you make plans for the year for your crafting? Or do you do a make 9? Or you're like, I just want, or do you have more like I want to make more sweaters, or I want to make more socks for myself, and then if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I guess my question is, what's your vibe for 2025? What's your vibe for 2025? I mentioned last time that I wrote a book. I am currently in the process. I'm like reading through it and making notes for myself on what to edit, what to add in, stuff like that. So I'm really excited for that as well. There's a lot going on over here. I have my book club that they were like, you should like publish with Amazon, just to be an independent author. And I was like, we'll see how that works out. But if that happens, you guys will also be one of the first ones to know. I'll give you, I guess, like I'm trying to make it, not trying. The like vibes or feeling of the book is very like dark academia, very secret societies, very feminine ragey, very cat and mouse kind of thing, but like not in the way that you would expect. At least that's how I feel like it is. That's the best way I can describe it. So yeah, that's something else to look forward to this year. I might not be writing patterns, but I'm writing books, which I think honestly I'm pretty good with. And I think I'm good with just knitting too. I mean, technically it's a finished object, but I'm making wool balls. I have like as I've mentioned, you know, like I was for a while like, oh, I just want this yarn like based on vibes. So I got the Crazy Sexy wool from Wool in the Gang a long time ago. Actually, my husband got it for me. I have this pink yarn. I don't even remember what it's called anymore. And I have the gray one that I made my Williamsburg sweater in. However, as much as I loved it when I first made it, like I just don't reach for it anymore. So I'm gonna probably frog it. I thought about spinning it because it's basically just roving yarn, but I don't want to do that. And I feel like I really enjoy using the wool balls that I purchased from the store. So I've been felting, like I've just been making pom-poms with the pink one and been felting them. So I might just give those as gifts as the year rolls by. Because I've had my personal, like the ones I've used for the dryer for a while. I don't know if I'm supposed to be switching them out every so often, but I do enjoy using them. So I'm just gonna like include them in like people's gifts too. So yeah, I would show you, but I don't feel like going up to the laundry to go get it. So you just have to believe me. They're like a fairly smaller than what you would see at the store for wool balls. Not fairly smaller. They're like a little bit smaller than what you would see at the store. But yeah, I'm just felting them. And like I continue to felt them because I feel like you could still see where the yarn stops and starts. So whenever I need to wash like a really hefty blanket or a towel, like I'm just throwing them in there, which is good because then I'll just have gifts on hand later, like small hand knit gifts later. Now that's it. Okay guys, I will see you in the next one. Bye.